What's up, everybody? I know we talk a lot about fashion in this space, but to be honest, it's hard in times like these to talk fashion, style, business, because there are clearly far more serious things to talk about. So today, we're gonna talk the value of life and culture. Particularly in the case of Black people, we need to hear it. I don't do it a lot, and I need to do it now. I'm not gonna mince words, but if you are down, and if you're willing to listen, and if you're a true friend, or follower, a fan, you'll hear me out. This is WTH. I'm your boy Reggie Casual. Let's get it. Now, when we say Black culture, it's a bit misleading. I mean, what the hell is Black culture? It's just as diverse as any other culture. Think about it like this. Nobody would argue that Chinese, Japanese, and Koreans are all the same because they share Asian ancestry. That would be foolish. Anybody worth their salt knows they are different culturally. They come from, they have different things about them. So newsflash, same goes for Black people. Voila! From the West Indies to the various parts of Africa to Europe to even South America. And of course, North America. The idea of Black culture is varied, colorful, and beautiful. And you bask in it today, no matter what ethnicity you are. From jazz to rock and roll, R&B, blues, hip hop, athletics, comedy, dance, activism, the styles, the uncanny ability to remix anything, the slang, the way with words, the food, the hairstyles, the talent, the speeches, the indomitable will to survive by any means necessary. Black culture, particularly in America, is strong, vibrant, and global, which makes it American culture. And if you are an American of any stripe, creed, or color, you should be freaking proud. You really should. Put it this way, for those of you who don't know, I live in Tokyo, where it isn't at all hard to find kids and adults alike in the styles inspired by hip hop or individuals rocking the latest Jordans. It's often surprising to hear the sounds of Raphael Saadiq. If you don't know who Raphael Saadiq is, check him out. D'Angelo, Tupac, Lupe, among the Kanyes, the Jays, the Nas's, the Drakes, the Travises, Gambinos, ASAP, and the stereos of high-profile establishments. Hell, even a sizable Caribbean presence is in Japan. The point is, Black culture is just as vibrant as any other, and its influence and impact reverberates everywhere. For example, I see this issue in Japan from time to time. Not all the time, but from time to time, I play witness to hundreds of Japanese who have a genuine interest in hip hop and Caribbean culture, but stay eerily silent when faced with questions about the Black experience and where all of this culture comes from. Quite often the response will be something like, "ちょっと気にしない." Right? As in, I can't be bothered with the issues, not because I don't care, but because I can't relate. And I don't want to say anything stupid because I can't relate. But look, I love Black culture. I appreciate it. I think Black people are so cool. 黒人はかっこいいねと言って。And it's easy to be disappointed by this when you hear it for the first time, or even frustrating. But you realize that the same thing rings true even in America, despite Black culture in America being American as apple fucking pie. So allow me to be controversial here. You can never truly be about anything from Black culture if you turned a blind eye towards Black issues. That's where the culture comes from. The creativity of Black culture comes from conflict, from the struggle. So no amount of albums you listen to, styles you partake in, can substitute for understanding the generations of struggle. The only way to do this is to communicate. It's no more evident than the silence from the fashion community in these trying times. A fashion community that glorifies styles birthed from Black influence, using Black faces to amplify their brands, and yet crickets when faced with the struggle. We are not at liberty to talk about issues we don't know much about. Can't relate! Because we value Black culture more than the people far too often, because the culture can be sold, and Black people understand this because we sold it. And we have actively exaggerated it to be even more bombastic so it could be sold even more. Willingly we did this. The only thing a majority of Black people are asking for is a voice. And to be represented, to have the truth be told about everything, about purposely omitted history like the Tulsa race massacre that left 10,000 Blacks homeless in one of the most affluent Black neighborhoods in the 1920s, dubbed Black Wall Street, no less. If you didn't know about that, read your history. The truth begins with shedding light on the real history, on educating. So a message to the uninformed. Black people did their part. You know this. They sacrificed their literal blood, sweat, and tears, gave their bodies, their freedom, their culture away just to be accepted by an America which they call home. They fought in wars for America, cried for America, helped build America. And guess what? They still do, so deal with it. And what's crazy is Black people did all of this dying, trying, and crying for America, all while crafting their own culture and identity and finding their place in America. Years of co-opting Western thought after emancipation to learning about their roots, applying and intersecting that to create a fusion that no other culture in America has been able to replicate, which is ironically, distinctly American. And you should be proud of it. I will not deny there are issues within the Black American community. I'm not going to gloss over how changes need to be made. The attitudes of colorism, genuine Blackness, and self-hate plague the culture, and those need to be fixed. Like any community, there are issues, but many of those issues are a direct result of wanting equal justice and equal acceptance. But now is not the time for just acceptance. It's time for empowerment, not just for Black people, but for everyone to be empowered with the knowledge that who you are, the content of your character, is far more powerful than the idea of what color you are. That your color, no matter the shade, is not an indicator of your superiority or inferiority. It is the conduit by which you offer your human experience and culture based on where you come from. It's the very reason I tell Black people that you need not concern yourself with individuals that use overt racism to devalue your character. For if someone uses these tactics, they are inherently below you. You need not concern yourself with idiots. You're too strong for that. Listen, the importance of Black American culture can't be understated or swept under the rug for convenience. It is American culture through and through. Again, deal with it. And by standing and more importantly, listening with your brothers and sisters in arms, you are being far more patriotic than draping and shielding yourself in a flag that can always be replaced, because the flag is nothing without the people to prop it up. So if you are down with Black culture, you are innately down with Black life, you are innately down with American life, and it's incumbent upon you to learn more about it so you can complete the true experience of what it means to be an actual human being. And while I stand with individuals in America right now to end the practice of police brutality in all its forms, I do not condone violence, hatred, lawlessness, but I will not repudiate frustration and anger. People have a right to be angry. People have a right to protest, and we all have a responsibility to ensure that life wins the day, because without life, there is no culture. And I wouldn't have much to talk about. So I will talk fashion, and I will talk business in this space, but most importantly, I will talk life and culture. And I'll do it my way, over here at The Casual, and speak out when it needs to be spoken, because that's the culture of street. That's what we do. We don't hide, we don't run, we tell it like it is. So, if you will, keep it locked right here for all of your info on international street fashion and most of all culture from Tokyo. It's your boy, and keep it casual. Yoroshiku onegai shimasu, and I'll see you guys in a minute.